So let's press the palms face up onto the thighs, closing down through your eyes. And just taking your time to get settled here on the mat this morning. Noticing where your breath is landing in your body. Noticing the gentle rise and fall without adjusting or changing it. Simply becoming aware. With each inhalation and gently sending that breath a little bit deeper into the belly. And each exhalation lengthening out with the breath. Feel that breath landing in your chest, your lungs, and your belly. Exhaling, softening and releasing. Noticing the quality of your thoughts this morning. Maybe you've got lots of thoughts about your day. We can leave those to one side as we focus completely here and now in this moment. Landing your body completely on this mat. On your next inhalation, you're welcome to gently open up through your eyes, resting the gaze on the mat or the floor in front of you. Let's circle to rise up with the arms nice and long into the sky. Sending the palms together overhead. Stretching, reaching up through those arms. Exhale to gently release through that right hand. Lengthening up and over with your left, so reaching over that left ear. Sending your fingertips into that right side. We're here for 3 more deep breaths. And 3. On your next inhalation, gently rising into the center. Taking that left hand over the top of your right thigh. Right hand draws back and behind you. Inhale to lengthen through your body. Exhale, softening and twisting, sending your gaze to the back. Nice. On your next inhalation, drawing back round to the front. Let's send that left hand this time onto the mat, lengthening up and over with your right. Making that body nice and long, engaging through your core. You're here for 3 more deep breaths. On your next inhalation, rising back into the center, right hand this time onto that left thigh, lengthening up with your spine, left hand draws back and behind. Inhale to create your length, exhale, softening, twisting into your stretch, into your twist. So on your next inhale, rising back into the center. Okay. Let's come into your tabletop position. Taking the hands underneath the shoulders, knees are beneath the hips. So today we're practicing our Hatha Yoga flow. I'm making this practice a little bit stronger than previously as we create that flow dynamic. So taking in some qualities of our vinyasa, but still keeping it Hatha with our length and our times. Okay. Let's inhale to gently open up through the chest, sending the gaze forwards, rising up through the tailbone. Exhale, gently releasing into your cat. Inhaling, arching through the spine, opening up the chest, rolling the shoulders back and down for your cow. Exhale into your count. 3 more times in your own time, using your breath as your guide. Noticing how fast or slow you'd like to go this morning. Working into all those muscles, coming into your last round. And inhale, rising back into the center. Nice. We're going to tuck underneath your toes on your last round. Rising up with the hips into the sky, pushing back and up into your first downward facing dog. Sending those feet hip width apart. Grounding into your fingertips. We can begin to walk those feet up and down onto the mat. Noticing how your body's feeling today. Is it flowing? Is it feeling a little bit stiffer? Working into those areas. Nice, gently coming to rest in your downward facing dog. If your heels don't reach the mat, no problem. Keeping those knees nice and bent, gaze towards the thighs. You're here for 3 deep breaths. Coming into your last breath. Nice, and on your next inhalation, gently rising forwards into your high plank pose. So taking those feet together, engaging through the core, engaging through those legs, and gently releasing down with the knees onto the mat. Sitting back into your heels, and on your next inhalation, gently drawing forwards over the hands, bending through those elbows, releasing the chest and the chin to the mat as you rise all the way through, opening up into your cobra. Nice, drawing those elbows into the sides, opening up the chest, gaze forward. Exhale, tucking under the toes, pushing back and up, downward facing dog, lengthening out through those legs. Nice, we're going to take 2 more rounds of those as we flow through the body. So inhale to draw forwards for your plank. Holding here for 2 deep breaths. Gaze towards the mat. Gently releasing the knees. As you hinge forward, chest and chin, elbows drawing in. Inhale to rise for your cobra. Rolling those shoulders back and down. Exhale, tucking under the toes. Pushing back and up, downward facing dog. Taking 2 nice deep breaths here in your downward facing dog, gaze towards the thighs. If it feels good for you, maybe walking out through those feet once again. Nice, coming into your last flow. Inhale to gently rise forward. Holding your breath here in your high plank. This time we're going to come into our chaturanga. So drawing halfway into your halfway drop, we're going to squeeze the elbows into the side body. Nice, gaze towards the mat, and as you inhale, this time we're going to peel all the way through, opening up into your cobra, squeezing the elbows into the sides. Exhale, tucking under the toes, pushing back and up, downward facing dog. Nice. On your next inhalation, gently bending through the knees, and we're going to come to walk up towards the top of the mat. Taking your big toes together, heels are together. Hands are framing onto the mat, gently releasing the forehead towards the thighs. Nice, here you're welcome to nod your head up and down, side to side, releasing any tension. Nice, on your next inhalation, lengthening up through the legs, coming into our halfway lift. So taking the hands onto the shins, lengthening up with the spine. Gaze towards your mat. Nice, let's inhale to rise up with the arms nice and long into the sky, palms together. Exhale, hands into your heart center for your namaste. Nice, opening up here into your mountain, sending the gaze forward, opening up the palms to the front. Inhale to circle and rise with the arms, arching back. Let's open up those hips, opening up the chest, gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold, hinging here from your hips. Nice, releasing the hands next to your feet. Okay, so your hands are next to your feet, and you're going to step back with your left foot, releasing your left knee onto the mat. So here in your low lunge, releasing your back foot, opening up the chest forward, sending those shoulder blades step back and down. Yeah, so your back knee is onto the mat. Keep breathing nice and deep into your belly for 2 and 1. Nice. Stepping back into your high plank. Holding the breath here, and we're going to come into our chaturanga, halfway drop, elbows drawing into the body. Inhale to rise all the way through, opening up, upward facing dog, lifting up the thighs, gaze drawing forward. Exhale, tucking under your toes, downward facing dog. Now next inhalation, let's rise up with the left leg into the sky. Exhale, stepping between the hands and releasing your right knee. Right, checking you're nice and strong in your foundation, front knee over your ankle, opening up your chest, rolling those shoulders back and down, low lunge. Nice, tucking under those back toes, let's step forward, exhale, forward fold, releasing the forehead to the thighs. Inhale, lengthening up halfway lift, and let's circle to rise with the arms into the sky. Inhale. Exhale. Gently arching back, opening up. And let's come into our namaste, hands into your heart center. How are you feeling so far? Good? Yeah? Making it nice and strong. Let's open up into our mountain. Inhale. Circle and rise up with the arms into the sky. Arching back, opening up those hips, opening up the chest, gaze the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold, squeezing the legs together, releasing the hands next to the feet. Framing your feet, and this time stepping back with your right foot, releasing your right knee onto the mat. All right, so here in your low lunge, we're going to come into our variation. So making sure that you're nice and strong, you're going to inhale to lengthen up the arms nice and long forwards, opening up your arms into your cactus. So shoulder blades drawing back and down, gaze drawing forward. Nice, framing through that front foot. Let's step back into your high plank, engaging through the core as we hold through that breath, releasing chaturanga, elbows drawing into your sides. Inhale to expand through those arms, opening up dog, gaze forward. Exhale, downward facing dog, releasing the feet. Nice. On your next inhalation, rising up with your right leg into the sky. Exhale, hinging forward, sending your foot between the hands. Opening up into your low lunge here on your right side. Sending those hips a little bit closer to the mat. Inhale to lengthen up with the arms. Exhale, cactus, making it nice and strong. Opening up through the chest, shoulder blades melting down and together. Nice, framing through that front foot. Let's step forward, exhale, forward fold. Nice, I want to hear that breath, ladies. Inhale, rising up halfway, lengthening through your spine. And let's circle to rise up with the arms into the sky. Arching back, opening up the hips, the chest forwards. Exhale, hands into your heart center, grounding through your standing pose. Nice. Opening up those palms to the front in your mountain. Focusing on your breath, on your body. And gently slowing down the heartbeat, grounding down through your feet. You're here for 3 more deep breaths. We're going to come into our next round, our last round of our sun salutations. Nice. Inhale, let's circle to rise. Arching back, opening up those hips, opening up the chest, gaze forwards. Exhale, hinging forward from your hips. Releasing forward fold. Nice. Hands next to those feet. This time you're going to step back with your left foot, releasing your left knee onto the mat. Okay. Inhale to open up the shoulders, sending the gaze forwards. we're going to send those arms nice and long into the sky. This time into your optional bind. So wrapping those arms back and behind, interlacing through the fingers, opening up the chest and drawing the hands back and down towards that left thigh. Nice, that's looking strong. We're here for 2. And 1. Exhale, framing through that front foot. Let's step back into your high plank, holding the breath, chaturanga, engaging through the core. Elbows drawing into your side body. Inhale to draw all the way through. Upward facing dog, lifting up those thighs. Exhale, downward facing dog, tucking underneath the toes. Nice. On your next inhalation, we're going to rise up with the left leg into the sky. Exhale to release between the hands. Okay, gently drawing your hips down towards the mat. Bring that beautiful stretch in your back thigh. Inhale to lengthen and rise. Exhale, circling those arms to the back. Opening up through the chest, lengthening those arms, gaze forward. You're here for 2 more deep breaths. And 2. Exhale, gently releasing those hands, framing that front foot, stepping forward, forward fold, relaxing completely the head and the neck. Inhale, nice. Let's rise up halfway, hands to those shins, lengthening those legs together, lengthening through your spine. And let's circle with our swan arms all the way up into the sky. Nice. Opening up your chest, opening up those hips forward, arching back. Exhale. Nice. Hands into the heart center. How are we feeling? Warmed up? Yeah, good. This is the stronger practice you were looking for? Yeah? All right, opening up here into your mountain. We're going to take 3 nice deep breaths here. Hello, good morning, welcome. Please come on through. Hi. All right, so opening up here into your mountain pose. Sending your gaze forward. We're here for 3 more deep breaths. Grounding down through the 4 corners of your feet. Breathing nice and deep. We're here for 2. And 1. Nice, okay, so we're going to step back into our high lunge this time. So stepping back with that left foot, you're on the ball of your left foot and sending that right knee over your right ankle. So you're opening up the hips, the shoulders, the chest, all to the front. Lengthening up with the arms nice and long into the sky. Cactus with the arms, opening up through the chest. Nice. Feeling your heart expanding forwards. Nice, that's looking really strong. We're here for 2 more deep breaths. And 2, nice. Inhale to lengthen up with those arms. And we're going to gently release that left hand onto the mat on the inside of your right foot. Lengthening up with those arms. Twisting your body open to the right side. Gaze past the right fingertips. Yep, so making sure that hand is on the inside of that right foot. We're here for 2 more deep breaths. And 2, exhale, nice. Gently releasing through that left knee onto the mat. You're going to take your right hand onto your right hip, circling over with that right leg and grounding into the outside of that right foot. Okay, so I'll move myself around here. Okay, taking that right hand onto your right hip, squeezing your hips into the center line, lengthening up if you're feeling comfortable with that right arm into the sky. Gaze past your fingers. So here in your side plank. And 3, nice. Exhale, gently framing the front of the mat, coming into your tabletop pose. Exhale, pushing back and up, downward facing dog, lengthening up with the spine, lengthening up with those legs. So here in your downward facing dog, if it feels good for you, you're welcome to walk out through your feet, sending each heel down towards the mat. All right, let's come to rest in our downward facing dog. I'm just going to come and check your downward dogs. Okay, so keep relaxing through your head. Yep, that's looking good. I'm just going to come and adjust you. So drawing those shoulders, the shoulder blades back and down, relaxing through your head and your neck. Gaze towards the thighs. Nice. Keep lengthening up through those legs. Very good. So if your heels don't reach the mat, you can always bend through your knees. Nice. On your next inhalation, we're going to lengthen up with your left leg into the sky. Exhale, bending through the knee and gently stepping between the hands. All right, so we're aligning ourselves for our high lunge here on your left side. Checking that your front knee is over that ankle, sending your gaze forward into the room. As you inhale, lengthening up with the arms into the sky. Exhale, cactus with the arms, opening up the chest, sending your gaze forward. Making it nice and strong. We're here for 2 more deep breaths. Keep opening up through the chest. And exhale. Nice. Let's gently release that right hand onto the mat on the inside of your left foot, lengthening up with those arms. So we've got one nice long straight line between the hands and those shoulders. Gaze up past the fingers. Nice. You're here for 2. And 1. Exhale, gently releasing through that right knee onto the mat. Taking your left hand on top of that left hip, and you're going to circle to rise over that left leg, over the top of the right. So checking your right knee is underneath that right hip, grounding into that back foot as you inhale, lengthening up with that left arm. Gaze past your fingertips. We're here for 2. And 1. Exhale, nice. Framing through that front mat. We're going to gently draw the knees to the outside of the edges of your mat. Big toes together. Sitting back into your child's pose. Releasing the hips into your heels. And relaxing your forehead on the mat. Here in your child's pose, you're welcome to roll your forehead from side to side. Releasing any tension, any worries, letting them go. You're here for 3 more deep breaths. Sending the breath deeper into the belly with each inhalation. Nice. On your next inhale, sending the gaze up towards the hands. We're going to gently draw ourselves forward. So staying on your forearms, you're going to gently draw forwards, sending the knees together, releasing those hips onto the mat nice and slowly, opening up the legs nice and wide to each side of the mat, opening up your chest and rolling the shoulder blades back and down. So this is your Sphinx pose. You're welcome to gently open up through the throat if that feels good for you, sending the gaze towards the ceiling. This gentle back bend. We're here for 3 more deep breaths. Relaxing through those shoulders for 2. And 1. Nice. Exhale, releasing all the way down onto the mat. Releasing the right side of your face. Lengthening those arms nice and long. So you're welcome here to give those hips a little roll from side to side if that feels good for you. Nice. On your next inhalation, taking the hands underneath your shoulders. Opening up through the chest. This time you're going to rise up all the way into your upward facing dog. So lifting up through the thighs, lifting up through the chest, gaze drawing forwards. Okay, so we're on the tops of those feet, rising up from your thighs off of the mat. Exhale, tucking under the toes, downward facing dog. Nice. Okay, so we're going to come into a few of our standing balancing poses. On your next inhalation, rising up with your right leg into the sky. Exhale, let's gently step between the hands. Okay, so we're going to come onto the ball of that back foot. Checking with your front knee is over your ankle as you inhale, sending the gaze forwards, lengthening, rising up with those arms nice and long into the sky. Cactus with the arms. Nice, I want to hear everyone's breath here. Keep opening up through the chest. We're here for 2 and 1. On your next inhalation, you're going to lengthen up those arms nice and long into the room, hinging your hips forward, so almost like you're about to launch yourself into the room. Slowly, you're going to take the weight into that right foot, releasing that left foot off the mat, flexing through the back foot, gaze the mat. Nice, so here in your warrior 3 pose, squaring off those hips to the mat. And exhale, gently releasing your right hand onto your blocks in front of you. Okay, so your block should be to the right of your mat. Taking your hand on top of the blocks, and we're going to open up into your half moon pose. So gently opening up the hips to the side, lengthening up with that left arm into the sky. Nice. Strengthening through your standing leg. We're here for 3 more deep breaths. No worries if you fall out. You can always come back in. Exhale, gently releasing through that left foot, coming to stand back up at the top of the mat. Nice and gently coming to stand at the top. Okay. So this time we're going to take the blocks over to the front and to the left of your mat. Opening up here into your mountain pose, opening up those arms nice and wide. And grounding through your feet. Noticing how your energy is feeling, how your breath is feeling. Making each inhalation and each exhalation the same length. Nice, let's make it nice and strong for this side. Inhale to circle and rise through those arms. Palms together overhead. Exhale, coming into your forward fold, hinging from the hips. Nice, framing through the feet. This time you're going to step back with your left foot and then your right into your downward facing dog. Gaze towards the thighs. Nice. On your next inhalation, we're going to rise up with the left leg nice and long into the sky. Exhale, bending through that knee. And we're going to gently hinge forward, stepping between the hands with your left foot. All right, aligning ourselves here for a high lunge. Once you're feeling strong in your legs, sending your gaze forward, lengthening through that back leg, rising up. Exhale, cactus. Engaging through that front thigh. You're here for 2 more deep breaths. And inhale to lengthen up with those arms, gently hinging your body forwards, launching yourself, sending the weight into that left foot, rising up with that back leg. Nice. Sending your gaze towards your blocks here in your warrior 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, gently releasing the left hand onto those blocks. Maybe you want to take that right hand onto your hip as you slowly start to open up the hips to the right side of your mat. Opening up the chest. Keep sending up that back right leg. Lengthening up with that right arm. We're here for 2 more deep breaths. Keep strengthening through that standing leg. You're almost there. Lengthening, strengthening through your standing leg. Drawing those hips into the center line. And exhale, gently releasing with that right leg. Coming to stand back up nice and slowly. So once you're at the top, you may be feeling your body's a bit tired. Let's gently shake those legs out. All right, how are we feeling so far? Good? Perfect. All right, we're going to come to the long side of the mat this time, taking those legs nice and wide. Yeah. So if you want to stand on the mat, you can. So you can open up maybe to that side or to the left. Maybe it's a little bit nicer for your feet. Okay, let's lengthen out with those arms nice and wide to the sides. So your toes are drawing together in your pigeon stance with your feet. Heels are drawing out. Taking the hands onto those hips. As you inhale, opening up the chest, Rolling the shoulders back and down, gaze towards the ceiling. Exhale, gently folding forwards. So we're going to come into your halfway drop. Engaging through the thighs, pulling up through the knees. Let's gently release each hand one at a time onto the mat. Okay, so grounding through the hands, lengthening through your spine into your halfway lift. Exhale, engaging through those thighs. Forward fold, bending through the elbows, relaxing through the head and the neck. Gaze to the back wall. All right, keep breathing nice and deep here. I'm going to come round and check your poses. Yep, so sending those toes in. Nice. Keep breathing nice and deep. You're here for 3 more deep breaths. Let me give you some blocks. It's okay. Okay, we're here for 2. And 1. On your next inhalation, gently rising up halfway, lengthening through the arms, lengthening through your spine. We're going to twist open to the left side. So on your next inhalation, lengthening up with your left arm into the sky. Exhale, taking your bind, wrapping that left arm back and behind. Maybe you can hold on to the waistband of your pants. As you gently open up the chest, gaze past the left shoulder. Nice, keeping the weight equal in both of those feet. We're here for 2. And 1. Gently releasing through that left hand. Nice, we're almost there. Next, we're going to rise up with that right arm into the sky, opening up the chest. Exhale, taking your bind, squeezing those shoulder blades back and down, opening up the right shoulder. And gaze past your right shoulder. We're here for 2. Keep lengthening through those legs. And 1. Exhale, releasing. Okay. If you've widened out through those legs, you can walk them a little bit closer towards one another. And gently taking the hands onto your hips, engaging through those thighs as we rise up all the way to stand. Inhale. Nice, lengthening through that spine. Okay, once you're at the top, bending through the knees, let's walk the feet in towards the center. And those legs, a little shake out here at the top. Okay. All right, so you can take the blocks off to the front of the mat. We don't need those anymore. And we're going to come to sit down onto the mat. If you have some water and you want to take some, you can always have a little sip now. You've worked quite hard. It's always different practicing yoga in Bali than back home. Whereabouts are you guys from? France. France, yeah. Nice. All right. So we're going to lengthen those legs nice and long in front. Flexing through your feet and taking the hands next to your hips. Opening up the chest, rolling the shoulders back and down. So here in your staff pose Dandasana. You're welcome to gently close down through the eyes if that feels good for you. Feeling your sit bone grounding, connecting you to the mat. Lengthening up through the spine and sending the crown of your head towards the sky. You're here for 3 more deep breaths. And keep relaxing those shoulders back and down, opening up the chest for 2. And 1. Nice. We're going to come into our reverse plank pose. So for those of us who are feeling a little bit weaker in the core, you can always come into your reverse tabletop. Okay? Which will be drawing the feet in towards you. But if you want to take your full plank, then challenge accepted. You can gently point through those toes, rising up with the hips into the sky. Nice. Keep sending your gaze towards the sky, engaging through your thighs and your glutes. You're here for 4 more deep breaths. And 2 more breaths, almost there. And 1. Exhale, gently releasing those hips nice and slowly. Nice. Once you've come to sit down, let's give those legs a little tap out here onto your mat. Okay. We're going to come into a beautiful stretch next. We're going to take that left foot and we're going to draw it up on the inside crease of the inside of that right thigh. Okay. So for those of us who can't get the foot up onto the inside of your leg, no problem. You can always take your foot on the inside of the thigh. Okay. Okay, so I think for you, maybe if you get your foot on the inside of the thigh, it's better, because I worry about the knee if it's up too high. So it's better to relax it here, yeah? Okay. So let's inhale to lengthen through the arms nice and long into the sky. Exhale, hinging forwards, engaging through your core. Wrapping the hands, once you're halfway, maybe around the balls of your feet or the shins if you can't reach your foot. So maybe on the shin, yeah. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, softening and folding forwards. Remembering to breathe into your pose. If you're experiencing any deep pain, you can always draw yourself up a little bit. It's not torture. We're here for 3 more deep breaths. And 3. On your next inhalation, sending the gaze up towards those right toes, framing your leg, and gently, gently walking the hands back up towards you. Nice. Okay, taking that left foot to the outside of your right leg, keeping that lower right foot nice and flexed. Okay. So you're going to take your left hand back and behind your left hip. Inhale to rise up with the right arm into the sky. Exhale, let's gently twist, opening up to the left side, sending the outside of that arm to the outside of your leg, opening up your palm. Exhale, twisting, relaxing through the core, gaze towards the back wall. With each inhalation, finding your length, and each exhalation, twisting a bit deeper. You're here for 3 more deep breaths. And 3. On your next inhale, gently sending the gaze back forwards into the room, releasing your right arm and releasing that left leg. Let's give our legs a nice little tap out here onto the mat. Okay, releasing the flesh underneath your sitting bones. And this time we are going to rise up with our left foot. So taking the left foot either on the inside of that right thigh or onto that crease of your pants. Okay. Yeah. So if your foot is on the crease of your pants, trying to get that knee pointing forwards. If it doesn't point forwards, then just be very careful. Maybe you want to take it a bit further out, grounding that foot to your thigh. Okay. Always protecting through that knee. Let's inhale to lengthen up with the arms. Exhale, engaging through your core and gently hinging forwards halfway. Option to hold on to the feet or the shin. Okay, so keep grounding through the heel and your sit bones. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, softening into your fold. Wherever you are, letting that breath draw deeper into your body. This is your yoga practice. It's not about anyone else. Some people are more flexible, others aren't. We all gently taking our time, and being patient with our bodies. We're here for 3 more deep breaths. And 3. On our next inhalation, gently opening up through the eyes, sending your gaze towards those toes, framing and walking up those hands nice and slowly. Right, very gently releasing that left leg. Okay, lengthening out those legs and again giving them a nice little tap out here. Okay, all right, so let's release the flesh from underneath the sitting bones, rising up this time with your right foot, taking the right foot to the outside of that left leg, flexing through your left foot. Okay, so we're going to take the right hand, the right arm back and behind that right thigh. Fingertips are facing towards the back wall, and you can use that arm almost like your tripod or your stand against your body, so you're helping to rise up with yourself. Inhale, sending the gaze up past those left fingertips. Exhale, twisting open to the side. Maybe you can't twist open all the way to the back yet, that's okay. Taking that right arm onto the outside. So with each inhalation, finding that length, each exhale, softening and twisting. And relaxing down through your gaze. We're here for 3 more deep breaths. So on your next inhalation, gently sending the gaze forwards into the room, releasing your left arm and that right leg. Okay. We're going to come down to lay all the way onto the mat. So taking the hands next to your hips, flexing through those feet, engaging through your core, and gently releasing down vertebra by vertebra onto your mats. Nice. Once you've found yourself on your mat, opening up the legs, opening up those arms nice and wide. And feeling your body and surrendering onto your mat. And calming and settling down the heartbeat. And deepening and lengthening with your breath. Nice. On your next inhalation, you're going to gently start to walk your feet in towards your hips. We're going to come into our half happy baby pose. So lengthening up with your left leg nice and long into the sky, flexing through that left foot. And you're going to gently bend through that left knee, taking a hold with your left hand on the outside of that left foot, grounding your knee in towards that left armpit. Okay, so you're feeling that beautiful stretch here, all on the inside of that hamstring, opening up through your hips. Yeah. Keeping yourself nice and stabilized, grounding through the hips and those shoulder blades. And you're here for 3 more deep breaths. And 3, nice. Exhale, gently releasing that left foot. You're going to take the lower half of your left leg on top of your right thigh. So you're releasing that foot and grounding your lower half of your left leg on the thigh. Nice. Taking the hands back and behind, interlacing the fingers behind your right thigh, flexing through both of your feet. And gently, you're going to start to send that right knee in towards the right side of your chest. And coming into your pause, once you're feeling that beautiful stretch. And so here in this pose, we're keeping the knee directly in line with the hip. Sending that knee in towards the right side of your chest. You're here for 3 more deep breaths. and 3. Exhale, gently releasing your fingers, releasing your bind. Releasing that right foot onto the mat, and then releasing through the left. Nice. Grounding your hands onto the mat next to you, lengthening out through the arms. We're going to rise up nice and long with the right leg into the sky, flexing through that right foot. Gently bending through the right knee, holding onto the outside of that right foot. And drawing the knee in towards your armpits. Nice. Here in your half happy baby pose. And sending the breath deeper into your belly. That beautiful opening in your hip joints. You're here for 3 more deep breaths. If that left knee is drawing out to the side, sending it back up towards a line with the ceiling. You're here for 2. And 1. Exhale, gently releasing through that right foot, grounding your lower half of your right leg on top of the left thigh. Drawing that right knee out to the side. Let's interlace the fingers back and behind your left thigh. And gently drawing the left knee in towards your left side body. And the slower you can come into this pose, the better. And coming into your pause once you're feeling that stretch. You're here for 4 more deep breaths. And 4. Nice. Exhale, gently releasing the fingertips. Releasing your bind. Taking those feet back onto the mat. Nice. Gently walking the feet to the outside edge of the mat, drawing the knees together into the center line. Okay. You're going to give those knees a nice little squeeze into the body. So let's wrap the arms together, holding on to the elbows with both of your hands. You're welcome to stay still, or maybe rolling from side to side on your spine. Giving yourself a nice little massage. It's okay. Lengthening out those arms nice and long next to your body, palms flat onto the mat. You're going to lengthen up with that right leg and then the left leg into the sky. Aligning ourselves here for our shoulder stand. So in our shoulder stand, we're going to take the hands onto the backs of your hips. So if you're on your time of the month, then I recommend just staying here in the half shoulder stand. But if you'd like to come up all the way, then to come up, we're going to gently walk the hands up the backs of the hips, rising up with the legs into the sky. Bringing engagement into the core, into those glutes. Okay, keep staying up here in your shoulder stand. I'm going to come and adjust anyone who needs it. All right, so here in your shoulder stand, there's no need to point or flex through the feet. Can you walk your hands a little bit closer into the middle of your back? A little bit closer into the middle? Yes, there we go. Keeping the weight into your shoulders. Perfect. Sending the chin in towards your chest. You're here for 4 more deep breaths. So to come up even higher into your shoulder stand, you can walk the hands up towards your rib cage, but keeping the weight in your shoulders. You're here for 2. And 1. Okay, very gently and slowly, we're going to release each hand onto the mat. So releasing the left and then the right hand. Keeping engaging through your core, flexing through the feet, and gently sending the legs back and over your head. Okay, so we're flexing through the feet. Maybe your toes can reach the mat, or maybe they can't. That's okay. So here in your plow pose, Halasana, sending your gaze between your legs, that diamond shape. You're here for 3 more breaths. And 3, nice. Okay, we're going to gently roll our bodies back down onto the mat, taking your time, engaging through the core, nice, calm, and controlled. Releasing the legs, last of all, onto the mat. We're going to come into your final resting pose, Savasana. So here in our Savasana, our final resting, there's nothing else that you need to do for class. Opening up the legs nice and wide. Taking up as much space as you'd like to on your mat. You're welcome to gently close down through your eyes. Focusing on your breath. Letting it draw a little bit deeper into your body with each inhalation. And each exhale lengthening out. Thoughts may begin to rise and fall, and that's okay. Greeting them as your old friends and focusing back on the breath.